Algebra 1. Welcome back to Chapter 3. You have just finished exponents, and what we're going to be working on the next part of Chapter 3 are algebra tiles. So you should have in front of you your 3.2.1 notes. If you don't have them, it's okay. You can make something that looks just like this with using a blank piece of paper. You will eventually be scanning this and uploading it to your math folder, so make sure this looks nice and neat and you're ready to go. All right, we're going to be using a lot of algebra tiles this chapter and then again in chapter 8. And so we want to make sure that you understand what are the names of these algebra tiles and what's the perimeter and what's the area. And so this guy right here, it's what we know as the unit tile. So go ahead and fill that in. You can write it. I'll show you a copy of my handwritten one. I'm going to type it just to make it look nice. All right, the perimeter. The perimeter of our unit tile here. And I'm going to try to make a little square here, and then I'm going to label it. Remember that the unit tile has a units of 1 all the way around. Each side is a unit of 1 length. It could be 1 meter, 1 mile, 1 foot. We don't know. We're just going to call it 1 unit. And so when we're looking at perimeter, we're just adding it, okay? And that's going to be a perimeter, then equals 4. And now I also want you to make sure it's for what? Okay, you have to make sure you put your units in. So that's going to be the perimeter is 4 units. And I think I will try and type that one. Okay, so we will have the perimeter equals 4 units. And I will make that fit nicely there. Okay, that's what that one will look like. Perimeter equals 4 units. All right, so what about the area? Okay, what about that area of how do we know like what we're going to cover? So I'm going to rewrite this guy. I think I'll make the line lit a little bit different. So I'm going to do my perimeter is 4. Okay, now area, if you remember how to find the area of a line, sorry, the area of a shape or a rectangle. So area is the base of that shape times the height of that shape. And so for this guy, we have the base is 1, my height is 1, so I get 1 times 1, so my area is 1 square unit. Now again, I'm going to text that. I'm going to like write it out in text form. So the area equals 1 square, and you're going to see me abbreviate that later as SQ, but it's square units. Now, is it square feet, square miles, square inches? I don't know, but that's what the area is. It's 1 square unit, okay? All right, I'm going to erase that guy, and I'm going to redraw it. So we know the area is 1. All right, let's go on to our next tile. So our next tile here, we have a base of 1 and a height of x. Now, I don't know what that is. That's why we call it x. I don't know if it's 5 units because 5 little units don't fit up there, and I don't know if it's 10. There are no units that fit that side, so we have to call it x. And so that's the name of this guy. Okay. And I'm going to clear all of this, and I'm going to call this the x tile. All right, now my x tile is going to be, and I'll redraw this guy. I'll make it here. So here's my x tile. Now remember, we have a base of 1 right here, which means we have a height of 1, and we have a length or a height of x. And so that's what it looks like. Now remember, perimeter is the distance around, so I'm adding all of those things together. And what this now becomes is the perimeter is going to be 1 plus x plus 1 plus x. Well, 1 plus 1 gives me 2, and x plus x gives me 2x plus 2, and that'll be units. Okay, so we have 2x plus 2 units. All right, let's talk about the area of this guy. So the area, again, is going to be the base times the height, and my base is 1, and my height is x. So my area is, well, 1 times x is just x. So I have an area of x. So notice what we have here. We have the unit tile, we have the x tile, and what I want you to do here is I want you to pause the video, and I want you to see if you can figure out the y tile. So here's a hint to you. The y tile has a base of 1 and a height of something we call y. We don't know what it is, so we call it y. Pause the video here and see if you can finish the y tile. All right. Welcome back, Algebra 1. We'll check your y tile here in just a second, but I'm going to move down here to this x squared tile, and then you're going to get to see the answers and compare and make sure you have everything correct. So this blue tile right here is known as the x squared. So it's the x squared tile. And notice nothing is changing, okay? Nothing is changing here. I have here's my x squared tile. Now, when I do this, I'll put black, I have a base of x and I have a height of x. That's what makes this the x squared tile. Everything around this square is an x. So let's take a look here at blue. My perimeter is going to be the distance around that square, which is x plus x plus x plus x, which gives me, I have 4 of them. So my perimeter is 4x units. Okay, my area. Now my area, guys, is still the same thing. It's still base times height. So my area is going to be x times x, because my base is x and my height is x. Now you guys just learned this in the first part of chapter 3. Well, what is x times x? We want to write that in the most efficient and mathematical way possible, which means our area is x squared. And hopefully you're seeing a pattern here that whatever the area is, that's actually the name of our tile, okay? All right. What I'm going to have you guys do here is pause the video, and you need to finish this entire first page. You're going to do the y squared tile, which means you have y is the base and y is the height. And then you're going to finish the xy, which means that it has the base of y, and this one has the height of x. Okay, so see if you can finish this first page. All right, welcome back, Algebra 1, and here's what I want to show you. The picture on the right is what your screen should look like. This is my hand drawing. You can see I tried to be as neat as possible, and I have everything labeled. You'll notice that my perimeter, like the top one, the perimeter says I have 4 units, so make sure you have your units in there. And I've always labeled out the areas base times height. Pause the video here and check your work. Make sure that you have all of this correct. Now on that last one where it says it's the XY tile, and I have the bases being X and Y, it doesn't matter if you say it's Y times X or X times Y. I'm very used to writing it as the XY tile, so I will always write it as the base is X and then that height is Y. But if you wrote it as the YX tile, it's okay. Again, pause the video and make sure your first page looks just like this. All right, we are ready to move on, Algebra 1. You've done the first page. And now what we're going to do is we're going to look at just reminding you about what these shapes look like and what they do. And so I'm going to do this first one with you, and then we're going to talk, and then I'm going to let you practice with the other two. So what happens if we just give you a random set of these algebra tiles? How do you find the perimeter and how do you find the area? Okay, so let's look at this guy. the perimeter, and I'm going to do this in red. The perimeter is the distance around this shape that I'm highlighting, okay? Now I'm going to take this highlight away here in just a second because I don't want it to get too crowded with stuff. But I want you to look at that shape. That's the shape we have to find the distance around. And the best way to do this is pick up your pencil and start writing on it, okay? Start writing each little piece. Okay, so from here to here, I know is y. So I'm going to label that with a y. Well, I know from here to here is also y. My purple is y. Now, if I look from the blue, so I start here and go all the way along the blue, that has a length of x. This has a length of x. But now I'm down here at my little unit right here, and from the dark blue to here, that has a unit of 1. That has a unit of 1. This has a unit of 1. And I'm going to come over here and finish my last purple. That has a unit of y. Has a length of y. Now here's the challenging part. And this is where students, and again, I'm going to go back, and I think I will make this guy maybe green here. Right here is where students will get confused. That part that I just highlighted. Why do students get confused there? Well, because it's hard to think about what this is. So I want you to think about this side used to be an entire x, okay? It used to be x, but I blocked it with a 1. So from here all the way to here has a distance of x minus 1. It used to be x, but I took 1 off. I blocked it. Right here, I'm missing that 1. Okay, so that side length is x minus 1. All right, so let me do another color here. Let's do blue, this guy. And again, now I have to figure out this little guy right there. All right, again, I'll make this one. So now I need to figure out what is this right here. Well, notice this side used to be y. So from here all the way down used to be y, but guess what's blocking it? That x. So I'm only left with a y minus an x. Okay, that whole side, the purple side, let me get my spotlight here. I'm going to highlight it. So this whole side was y. But the only part that's showing is this little part that I have highlighted in yellow. And so what's the part I'm missing? I'm missing that x side, so that's why I subtracted out. So now what are you going to do? Well, our perimeter, and I'm going to write this out, I'm going to type it out. Our perimeter is y plus y plus y. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then I have plus x plus x plus x plus x. I'm going around the shape, and then I have plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. Then I have this plus x minus 1, and then I have this plus y minus x. Now that's not very pretty, guys. I want to make this look nice. And so what you have to do is you have to combine your like terms. So the question that you have to answer is, how many y's do you have? Well, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 y's. So we have 4 y's. How many x's do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, but be careful, we subtract 1. So we have plus our 2 x's. So we have plus 3 x's. Or wait, let's see here. I have 1, 2, 3, minus 1, so we have 2 x's. And then how many 1's do we have? Well, we have 1, 2, 3, but we subtract 1, so we have plus 2. So that's what my perimeter looks like. All right, so my perimeter is 4y plus 2x plus 2. All right, so let's look at our area. So let me erase all of our perimeter stuff. Please, when you're looking at perimeter, take your pencil out and label each side. It makes a big difference. Okay, area. Well, we know the area of the purple block is y squared. We know the area of the blue block is x squared, and we know the dark blue is 1. So now my area is going to be area equals, I have a y squared plus an 1x squared plus a 1. So it's y squared plus x squared plus 1. That's my area. Okay, pause the video, make sure you have all that written down, and here is the challenge for you. The challenge for you is to finish the next 2 shapes by yourself. Pause the video here and see if you can find the perimeter and the area of each one of these shapes. All right, welcome back. So let's talk about this. So the picture on the right is what your work should be looking like. And you can pause the video here and really focus on what it is that you need to focus on and make sure your answers look this correctly. But really what I want you guys to see is that when you are doing perimeter, you're looking at the distance around. And sometimes those distances can be kind of tricky, like this one right here. This purple one in that second problem, this used to be, okay, it used to be a y, but I blocked it, I covered it with the 1, so I have almost a full y, but it's y minus 1. And then you just have to take care of that when you are writing out your expression. The area is how many of those blocks do you have? So I have 1 xy tile, I have 3 y tiles, and I have 1 x tile. And normally we will write the area with the biggest tile first and go all the way down to the smallest tile. That's why you'll see me, like in the first one I wrote y squared plus x squared plus 1, because y squared is the largest tile. Try this. Make sure your notes look like this, because remember, you're going to be bringing this in and bring these notes with you. You're going to be uploading it to Canvas, and make sure your notes look nice, make them look pretty, and we'll see you in class. Thank you, Algebra 1. Thank you for your hard work. Keep it up.